Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cracking open a really important set of issues for truckers.
Yeah, we're looking at the high stakes. Trucking is tough. We all know that.
Right. But drivers are dealing with so much right now. Economic swings, these pretty scary external risks, and honestly, it's feeling kind of disposable sometimes.
Exactly. So we're digging into that external minefield, cargo theft, fraud, but also the internal stuff, the fight for respect, for some control over their careers.
And a key thing that keeps popping up in our sources is this idea of empowerment, specifically financial empowerment.
Right. The potential solution isn't just waiting for the industry, it seems. It's about the individual driver taking some control.
Yeah, building like an extra income stream online, maybe using some of these new AI tools we hear about as a buffer.
Mm-hmm. Your
Yeah.
financial shield against crazy freight rates. Or maybe your company just suddenly shuts down. It happens.
It definitely happens. It's about having options, being able to step away on your terms, not because you're forced out.
Which is pretty crucial when you look at how intense those external threats are getting. Let's start with cargo theft. The American Transportation Research Institute, ATRI, they're calling it a full-blown national crisis.
Okay, crisis level.
Yeah.
How sophisticated are we talking here? Is it still just grabbing stuff from truck stops or something more?
Oh, way more. It's gone pro, highly organized. These aren't petty thieves anymore.
So what are they doing?
They're using tech. Spoofing methods, cloning carrier emails, messing with electronic load boards, fake IDs. They're literally rerouting entire truckloads.
Wow. Of what kind of stuff?
High-value goods, mostly.
Yeah.
Electronics, pharmaceuticals, even frozen meat.
Yeah.
Right from the yard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not just generic freight either, is it? I
No.
saw one source mentioned Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, that's wild. His custom Range Rover got stolen while it was being transported on a car hauler, Georgia to Louisiana.
So if they can target and make that disappear mid-trip,
Exactly. It shows nobody's immune. Every type of freight is vulnerable.
and who gets left dealing with the fallout? Got to be the driver.
Almost always. They're basically unpaid, untrained security for cargo worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they're often the first ones blamed when it goes missing. They feel like sitting ducks.
So who else is letting this happen? It can't just be the thieves being clever. Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be some complacency somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Brokers, shippers. Sometimes they prioritize the absolute rock bottom rate over checking who they're actually giving the load to.
So skipping the verification.
Skipping crucial steps, not investing in good tracking tech. Plus, a lot of local law enforcement, they just don't have dedicated cargo theft task forces to handle these complex, often interstate crimes.
That lack of diligence, that focus on cheap, it makes drivers vulnerable to theft.
Yeah.
And it seems like it opens the door to scams, too.
Definitely related. Which brings us to the next trap. These fake truck deals, they're targeting drivers who are desperate to become owner-operators.
Yeah. The dream of owning your own rig. But how do these scams work?
Well, drivers are often overworked, maybe underpaid, looking for a way out, right? So the scammers hit them with a deal that's just too good to be true.
Like what? A nearly new truck for pennies.
Exactly, like new Freightliner, only $10,000, that kind of thing. Police are actually putting out warnings because people are losing serious money.
How do they make it convincing?
Stolen photos, of course,
Yeah.
and urgency tactics. They create these stories like, oh, I'm getting divorced, or I have to move overseas fast, need the cash, anything to rush the victim.
And the payment method is key, I bet.
Always. It's the dead giveaway. They demand payment through untraceable methods. Zelle, Cash App, wire transfers, sometimes even crypto now.
Wow. And we read about drivers actually selling their personal car or truck just to scrape together a deposit.
Yeah, for a truck that doesn't even exist, it's heartbreaking.
So the advice is just extreme caution.
Absolutely. Basic stuff. Demand the VIN. Insist on a video call where you can see the truck. Better yet, see it in person. Put your hand on the metal before you send a dime.
It really highlights that desperation makes you vulnerable. Having some financial stability makes you less likely to jump at a risky deal.
Precisely. Which kind of leads us into the internal industry pressures, doesn't it? This whole fight over standards and respect.
Right. Let's talk about California. They recently got formally sanctioned by the US DOT. Why?
For ignoring federal rules. Specifically, the rule that says commercial drivers have to speak and understand English for safety reasons.
Okay, so what does the rule actually require?
It's pretty basic stuff, really. Drivers need to be able to talk to the public, read road signs, respond to police or officials, fill out reports accurately.
Seems like fundamental safety,
It
right?
is. It's about ensuring competence on the road. It's a professional license requirement, like in many other fields.
But some veteran truckers are really upset about California ignoring this. They see a double standard.
Yeah, they point out California regulates everything else, emissions, labor rules, you name it, super strictly, but then ignores this basic federal safety rule.
So for our listener, maybe driving somewhere completely different, why should they care about a rule being ignored just in California?
Because standards matter everywhere. When they're lowered in one major state, it kind of risks dragging down the perception and respect for the profession across the board.
And the safety risks are real, presumably.
Definitely. Think about it. Not being able to read low clearance ahead or misunderstanding instructions about hazardous materials, that's dangerous for everyone on the road.
Yeah.
This isn't about race or anything like that. It's purely about safety and professional communication.
There's an economic argument too, isn't there? Some drivers feel it affects wages.
Yes. The argument is if you make it too easy to get a CDL without meeting all the standards, you flood the market. More drivers competing for the same jobs can push wages down for everybody.
So it degrades the license itself, makes it seem less professional.
Exactly. It risks turning the CDL into like a participation trophy instead of proof of professional competence. Respecting the license, maintaining standards that helps elevate the job for everyone nationwide.
Okay, speaking of standards in the workforce, let's tackle the whole driver shortage narrative we always hear in the media.
Yes. The shortage. Our sources suggest that's maybe not the right way to frame it.
So it's not a lack of people wanting to become drivers.
Not really, no. Thousands get their CDLs every single year. The real problem, the catastrophic problem, is retention. Keeping the drivers they hire.
Retention, so people are quitting.
In droves. Some big carriers. Their turnover rates are over 90%. 90?
90% turnover, that's unsustainable. Why are they leaving so quickly? Most quit within the first year, right?
Yeah, often within months. Because the job they were sold isn't the job they get.
What kind of things, what are the big pain points? It's got to be more than just pay, right? Although pay is part of it.
Pay is definitely part of it, especially starting pay, but it's also recruiters being dishonest, promising no-touch freight, then suddenly the driver's stuck lumping loads or paying lumpers out of pocket.
The bait and switch.
Totally. Lack of reliable home time is huge too. Unpredictable schedules, pay structures that only work if you drive the absolute legal maximum constantly. But honestly, the biggest thing drivers talk about.
Let me guess. Respect.
Lack of respect, feeling treated like a number, like a cost center, not a valued professional, just disposable.
Okay, but let's push back here a little. If the carriers are the ones with these terrible retention rates, the ones treating drivers badly, isn't telling drivers, go build a side hustle with AI, kind of letting the carriers off the hook?
That's a fair challenge. And yeah, absolutely. The industry should do better. They should invest in keeping good drivers, pay for all time, like detention, offer real mentorship, be honest. But the reality for a lot of carriers seems to be that the business model relies on that churn. They prioritize leverage having a constant stream of new, cheaper drivers over loyalty.
So the AI income idea isn't about excusing bad practices.
Not at all. It's about the driver taking back some power, creating their own leverage, their own financial safety net. It's about deciding how you use your off-duty time wisely, investing in yourself instead of just waiting and hoping the industry fixes itself.
Okay, that makes sense. It's proactive, shifting focus to what the driver can control.
Exactly. Which leads us back to empowerment. Let's look at a positive example first, though, something that tries to build respect. Volvo extending its sponsorship of America's Road Team.
The road team captains. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is a great program. They select these really elite drivers, million-mile safe records, top professionals, and these captains, they go out and advocate for the industry.
What do they do?
They speak to lawmakers, they talk to the public, they educate people about what trucking is really like, about safety, professionalism.
So it's about positive representation, putting a skilled human face on the industry.
Precisely. It ensures the driver's perspective is heard in policy discussions. It counteracts some of the negative stuff and shows that high standards are valued and celebrated. It's a needed counterbalance.
A good initiative, but like we said, that individual empowerment often comes back to finances, doesn't it? Taking control.
Ultimately, yes. If you're constantly worried about the next economic downturn or a sudden rate drop, you're vulnerable. Which brings us back full circle to that self-empowerment strategy. Using AI, using tech to build extra income.
Okay, let's get specific, though. How does a trucker realistically use AI to make money? They're on the road, they have limited downtime.
Right. It's not about the AI driving the truck. It's about using AI tools to make managing a small side business or online gig much faster and easier during that off-duty time.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure. Maybe during a 30-minute break, a driver could use an AI writing tool to generate some basic marketing copy for a local business's website back home. Or use AI to quickly research and summarize grant opportunities for small trucking businesses.
Things that used to take hours of research or specialized skills.
Exactly. Or creating simple digital products, maybe an ebook based on their experience, like tips for new drivers, or a guide to navigating a specific type of freight. AI can help outline, draft, even design stuff like that much more quickly now.
So it's about using that downtime proactively, not just scrolling or waiting for the next load, but actually investing that time in building something for their own future security.
That's the core idea, building that buffer, that self-insurance policy, playing the long game, not just surviving the next week.
It gives them options, the power to maybe retire earlier or switch careers or just weather a storm without panicking.
It fundamentally shifts the power dynamic. It allows the driver to manage their own career path, their own timeline, to leave the industry when they want to, on their terms.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, we've seen a clear picture emerge. The trucking profession urgently needs more respect, better enforcement of standards, and real protection against these growing external threats like theft and scams.
And crucially, individual drivers need ways to build their own financial autonomy. That seems key to navigating the industry's volatility and gaining leverage.
It feels like the shortage isn't just of drivers, but maybe a shortage of reasons for drivers to stay, given the lack of respect often shown to people hauling incredibly valuable cargo.
Yeah. Which leads us to our final provocative thought for you, the listener.
Go for it.
Okay, so if the real solution to the industry's massive 90% plus turnover problem isn't necessarily going to come from the carriers' higher pay, better benefits, more respect, but instead comes from drivers building their own financial independence, their own exit strategy, using tools like AI, well, what does that ultimately say about the future sustainability of the traditional trucking carrier business model itself?
That is definitely something to think about down the road. That's all for this deep dive.